work. Oh, we got it? John, how you doing, man?
Hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
There he is. You look like you're doing good. You're in the robe. You look fucking relaxed, all casual. Nice, man. I was
It's
just Yeah, there you are. I was just looking at your platform. I love this because I was saying years ago it came off as conspiratorial and paranoid to think that the government was constantly up your ass. But we found out over the course of just a few years, recently especially, that they are indeed up your ass. And there's no need for them to be there. I don't think it was ever supposed to be like it is now. And what's your take on this? I see this is your position as president. Would be your platform.
well, in all seriousness, I don't really have a platform. We don't have enough information to make any rational decisions about the important issues in the government and our lives because we're fed nothing but propaganda by the press through the government, which is fed information selectively by the CIA. And between the CIA and the FBI, there is no privacy left. We have none. none to,
Isn't that amazing how that would have been a paranoid thinking back just even a few years ago? But now you obviously have been a tech guy over the years, and I've seen this intrusion of technology into our lives, and it's always presented as a convenience to people. It's never going, if somebody came to your door and said, we want to put a tracking device in your arm, people would lose their minds. Yet we voluntarily carry around our phone every day. We lose our minds if we don't have it with us. And that, to me, is how this stuff gets into our lives. It's presented as something we absolutely need, and we voluntarily carry this shit around with us and put cameras in our houses and use televisions that listen to what we're saying.
well, it's even worse than that. I mean, Apple has a watch that you can wear so that if you forget your spy device somewhere, it's on your arm. So you can even bathe with it, I think. So it's getting worse than that. That's just one step from chip implantation, is it not?
I
No, we have
think,
no
yeah.
privacy, and the government is not just up our ass; it's all over us. It is smothering us, and it's now trying to take away from us through um, cryptocurrency, which came from the people. First technology that's world changing, developed by ordinary folks instead of a government secret program, and it belongs to the people. And we have things like privacy in that, and an ability to have our own currency. And governments will try and shut this down. It's coming. A war is coming. And you will see it. They're going to ban privacy coins. Governments will have their own cryptocurrencies, and we'll be fucked. We'll see it.
We've seen it over the course of the years. Governments do not like when people go about their own business and do things without them somehow involved, getting their cut, like the mafia. And the fact that cryptocurrency is something that they have nothing to do with, they can't tax it, they can't trace it. It gets them a little nervous, doesn't it?
Well, that's why I'm in hiding and was on the run for a few months before that because I'm out telling the world that, hey, look, you can get around all this nonsense that the government burdens you with. We're living in a pure feudal society almost, and yet we can get around all that with cryptocurrency because if we control our own currency, then we control our own financial freedom.
Aren't taxes? Isn't it just extortion? It's a threat. They threaten you with your life. They could put you in prison if you don't give them their cut of the money that you're making. It's extortion. There's no other way to put it.
Well, I mean, I think there was an earlier word for it from 500 years ago called feudalism. It is where the kings own everything, including the land and you. And every year, the king would take 2 months of your labor. For example, if you were a blacksmith and the king needed blacksmith stuff, then you'd work for the king for 2 months for free, and then go home. Or if the king chose, he would take 2 months' supply of the fruits of your labor. Like if you grew potatoes or made swords. I mean, that's feudalism.
And
The
it's
king just
still, yeah.
doesn't do jack shit except collect all of the goods that the people are making.
And it's still happening. Yeah, it's still happening. It's
It's,
we're in
it's,
chains. We're in chains to the government. And if you don't play by the rules, you go to jail, or you end up running and in hiding, like you are. You've made a lot of money over the course of your life. You could have sat back, relaxed, played the game. What made you go off course so much from what would be perceived as normal with your life?
I don't know. I just got old, and as I got old, I developed a different perspective on the world around me. The meaning of things like relationship, family, children, job, um, ambition, and I just realized that we're living in a fucked up world.
Yeah, that's for sure. I don't
And
think there's any arguing that fact. What are your thoughts on Trump? When I voted for him 4 years ago or so, 3 years ago, I love the fact that he was this monkey wrench thrown into the machine. Anything that upset these decades and decades long politicians that were constantly trying to fuck us over and doing a damn good job of it, I was sick of it. So I wanted them to see what we would elect as opposed to them over the years. And I like what he's been doing. What's your take on Trump?
I don't get involved in personalities and politics. I mean, I don't think it makes an ounce of difference who our president is. I think our system is broken. It's like a car with a frozen steering wheel. And then that car doesn't care who's driving. Put anybody in the world in there, it's going where it's going. And so I'm not remotely interested in who sits in that office, because once you sit in that office, you lose all power over everything. You are informed by people like the CIA, who don't have to tell you anything if they don't want. It's called need to know. And presidents long ago were determined to be extremely low on the list of need to know. No, why? No, here's the reason. Presidents are called, you know what the CIA calls presidents? Transients. Transients. And they're there for 4 years, maybe 8. They know jack shit about the world, really. I mean, the true nature of international political alliances, cultures, religion, language. Good Lord. You can't train a president in those things. And you can't trust a president with the truth. No,
That's
please,
such a,
God, let's get real here. Let's get real. This is the truth of our current world. Information is the power. And who controls information? Our covert agencies, the FBI, CIA, NSA, Secret Service, our Army, Navy, and Air Force intelligence people. Get real. It doesn't matter who the president is. And if you don't believe me, observe from your own life. If you've had more than one change of presidents, did you notice a single hair on your head? Were you swayed by this great explosion of a change in power? And do presidents ever really do anything? I mean, Obama made the best friggin' effort. Half of his entire time building Obamacare. Well, we all knew. Why are you doing that? It's going to be dismantled, and it was. Do you understand? Nothing changes. Why do you care? Why don't you care about something far more important? Are we being told the truth?
I
And we
don't
are
think so.
not.
I
We
don't
are
think so.
not.
No, of course not. When do you think there was ever a time where our system did work and politicians, especially the president, did have some kind of impact, and these government agencies weren't so evil and poking around in our lives?
Yeah, I mean, up until the time I was about 12, um, I was born at the last year of World War II, and uh, Dwight Eisenhower was leaving office as I was 13, I think. And that was, for me, the most incredible time of opportunity in America. Now I know that for some people it was not. Black people, Hispanics, whatever. I mean, we are a strange mix of likes and dislikes in America. And um, what was I trying to say here?
Yeah, I get
But
it. It was a it was a pretty magnificent time in American history, and then I,
except for the minorities, and I pity them. However, uh, Dwight Eisenhower warned us when he left office: beware the military-industrial complex,
yeah,
and beware the CIA. They're the two largest threats to freedom in America. And JFK was the first president to truly challenge them. He was going to dismantle those sorry asses. Um, he didn't get around to doing it because somebody caused him to simply disappear.
yeah, no
Later,
shit.
President Nixon, much later, being very cautious now, because what the CIA do? It sent a message: don't fuck with us.
Hmm.
When Nixon, he didn't fuck with them, but he wanted more information. Please God, we don't have any real information. Kept on harping on it, tried to get legislation passed, and suddenly he's out of a fucking job.
Huh.
All sorts of events, and Nixon is gone, had to resign. So that was a statement to Congress and everybody else. Like, listen, we're not monsters here in the CIA. We're not. We could have whacked him. No, instead we were humane. But number one, don't fuck with us because you know what happens. And number two, now don't even annoy us because if you annoy us, we'll get you fired. End the story. So I'm sorry, but this is the truth of how this country works. People wake up and see it. And if you can't see that, surely you can see that no matter who is voted in or voted out, nothing in your life changes. You still got beer in the refrigerator. You still got whatever problems at home. Nothing changes, people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of people don't really see that. I think it's blatantly obvious now. It's right in front of our faces. The media lies to us on a daily basis. It's not the news anymore. Like I even remember as a kid, you'd put on the old 6 o'clock news, and Walter Cronkite was there, and he was trusted by the American people just based on his record. Now they try to make you trust them based on nothing. Like, believe me, my source tells it. It's like, what equity do you have that makes me want to believe you? You've done nothing but lie to me over the course of the years. They have no equity in their trustworthiness. It's all bullshit.
Oh, but hang on. But let's be frank here. You can certainly trust in the image, the leather low cut blouses, and yeah, that's a trustworthy image, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
You can trust that that person has great concern and care for themselves. But that's very telling in itself, is it not?
Yeah.
So no, there is no news anymore. I mean, what is news? I mean, is news about grandma baking a new apple pie and Sonny helping her? No, it's about catastrophe, a car wreck, blood. We don't stop if we're on the freeway to watch Granny bake a pie. But if there's an accident and we think some gore is we're going to slow down to the point that we block traffic for dozens of miles. This is the human species, and this is what the media caters to.
So we're getting what we deserve. Then we're kind of getting what we've asked
Sorry,
for.
please God, people, it's like we're bitching about the fucked up nature of the government, and yet we're voting for people who spend tens of millions of dollars to get a job, paying $250,000. Now,
Yeah, it's always
when
been.
I went to school, math was different than it is today, because in my math, that just don't add up, people, and you know it doesn't. No good saying, well, no, it doesn't come out of his pocket. It's his supporters. Well, I don't care whose pocket it came out of. Some of these contenders, it's apparently worth $50 million to somebody to get these sorry butts into that chair. And why, please ask yourself, what idiot votes for someone spending a fortune to get a job? Because that's
Great
what it
point.
is.
Great
We're
point.
voting you in. When we vote you in, we go, okay, we selected you for the job. Now get to work. Well, how much work is going to be done when that much has been paid just to get it? I mean, I would never take my eye off of that son of a bitch. And and yet we vote them in. Do you realize when this country first started, our president was elected on the best of all principles? He did not want the job.
Hmm.
George Washington, good God, people, he had been the general in the Continental Army. I mean, he had sacrificed sleeping in ditches, near death, dysentery for years, making sure that America could be free from the power of England. And now you're demanding that this poor son of a bitch be president? He didn't want it. He said, no, I want to. He's an old man, for Christ's sake. He wants to fish on the Potomac River, which even today is awesome fishing. I can't imagine what it was like in the late 1700s. So that's all he wanted. But who was there? Please, let's look at America at that time. Thomas Jefferson, a brilliant thinker, but good God, he could not find his own glasses. He was so disorganized. He was not a leader. Ben Franklin, pretty good leader, but he spent all of his time drinking and whoring.
Yeah.
Not a good. There was nobody but him, and they said, George, you know the truth. And so, almost kicking and screaming, he finally goes, all right. And he was the man for the job. You take that example, and the man spending $100 million to get the job, who, people, are you going to vote for?
Yeah, it's
Wake
night
up.
and day. It's night and day. We really, I guess we are getting what we deserve. We complain about a lot of the things that we just can't get enough of. What do you think of what social media has mutated into? How we thought the internet was going to be this exchange of ideas, and different universities could exchange their all their experiments and ideas, and it's turned into just this insult fest and bullying and bullshit.
Well, what it is it's the world's greatest arena for self promotion. That's what it is. I mean, look at the people with 20 million followers. I mean, they don't have to work. Good God Almighty! I mean, there are people who specialize in marketing to those 20 million followers. Um, that's what it's become. It's simply become a business within a business
Mm.
within a business. And its promise of free flow of ideas has already been strangled by the constraints on free speech, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I mean, we are censored. Well, how can we have a free exchange of ideas if my idea is censored? Do you see?
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
censorship that is strangling creativity. Well, censorship and government paranoia, meaning it's fear that this technology is going to get away from the government and it will be free from that freaking government.
Mm.
You understand? And so this is where we are. We're in a crucial spot in human evolution. And I am so thankful I'm alive to be experiencing it. and you all should be too out there. I hate to keep changing the subject, but
No, crazy times, man. You're absolutely right. John McAfee, thanks so much, man. You're a fascinating guy. I've been watching your antics over the course of the years, and always brings a smile to my face. I like a little bit of rebellion out there. So you are running for president. Is this official?
yeah, this is my second time. I ran in 2016 under the Libertarian banner. Was a runner-up for the nomination. I didn't want the nomination. I don't want the job. I don't want it today. But I got the national stage in 2016 to talk about things that I thought were important. And I think there are things that are even far more important today. I think we've gone down the road of totalitarianism
Yeah,
in America.
I
In
can't
America,
disagree.
a totalitarianism
I can't
that
disagree with that when I
that
watch what's going on.
that has sprung up from a virtual police state, fueled by and powered by information, which is both collected um, through all of the surveillance mechanisms that exist,
Yeah,
controlled in terms of who gets to know what. Well, that agency has ultimate power, whoever is doing that.
yeah.
That's what we should be looking at now. We shouldn't be looking at the president. Who cares? They lost their power 50 years ago. We need to talk to the people in power, give them fair notice. And we can't do that unless we can see the truth of how America is actually operating today.
Yeah, people love being blind, though. Not enough of them want to open their eyes and see that it's all bullshit. John, again, thanks so much. And official McAfee, official John McAfee, McAfee2020.com. Check it out. Thanks so much, man. Continued keeping away from the bad guys.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Later.